Hello and welcome back to the VirtualLight broadcast. When it comes to our health and our lives, I'm sure we've all thought that having a magic wand would come in very handy. But what if you did have the ability to identify, improve and even transcend any health issue in an instant? How would that change things for you? Would you even believe that you could change things? According to Dr. Hector Garcia, author of the book Guiding Personal Source, the person that is most qualified to help you is you. In fact, the ability to harmonize your health and life is already yours through the power of your intuition. Dr. Garcia joins us today to explain how we can improve any health issue as well as harmonize any areas of our life for lasting fulfillment. Neutrality to facilitate healing energy. Dr. Hector Garcia, welcome.
Hi there, Sandy. Thank you for having me.
Now, you're a renowned medical intuitive and medium. You've got more than 25 years' experience facilitating transformation and harmonizations with people around the world. And your book, Guiding Personal Source, claims that miracles exist within all of us. Indeed, you've been responsible for helping many people effect their own miracles. Tell us a little bit about that.
Yes. As I was growing up, I noticed that I had this intuitive ability, and I felt that everyone else out there has their own abilities and should be able to tap into that. I not only wanted to share this information to the world, I wanted it to be reproducible. I wanted for others out there to be able to do what I was able to do. Just tap into the energy with our intuition, our knowledge that everything is energy, energy is everything. And also, energy doesn't play a logical role. It follows the pattern of least resistance, if you will. So a lot of situations show up where there's least resistance. And once we're able to identify those triggers, which I call triggers, then we can invert them and harmonize them. And it's a very easy way of, testing the energy and being okay with it and having no attachment to a desired result, which in turn ends up helping the individual, for lack of a better word, heal themselves.
Do you think that we can be neutral when it comes to ourselves? I mean, we've always got a goal in mind or a wish or, an aim for something.
Yes. It's not easy. That's one of the most, the strongest questions that people ask me. I have an intention. I want to get well. I want to have more money. I want a better life. And I say, yes, that's a good thing to have. Have a desire, but have no attachment to that desired result. That's the key. Not having an attachment.
Now, you created and teach the modality that you call Garcia Innergetics, not energetics, which builds upon the
Correct.
Concepts of energetic neutrality to heal both the physical and spiritual bodies alike. And you say that neutrality is key in that. Some people do have what appear to be spontaneous, miraculous healings, and some people, despite all kinds of healing modalities, don't. Do you think that the difference between those two is neutrality?
Partly, yes. Not everything that we do ends up being exactly what we want, what we wish. There's three basic areas. Want, that's our conscious mind. Need, that's our subconscious mind. And deserve. Some of those clients that did all the kind of work, all kinds of treatments, and still, succumb to their ailment, they probably didn't support the idea that they could get well. And that's why I tell people, be neutral to the end result. Energy knows what's best for you. And if you allow for that field to provide you with what, is available to you, it will take care of itself. Yes, some people get better results than others, and perhaps I'm not saying they wanted it strong, tap into that neutrality state. And then, therefore, it was effortless, easy for them to get the result that they wanted.
I'm intrigued by one particular story that illustrates quantum entanglement. When you talk about a man who came to you who was diagnosed with cancer and told to go home to Texas or wherever it was and, put your affairs in order, you're going to die. And he tells his family he's coming home. They're all expecting him. But he comes to you, and in fact, there's nothing on his, x-rays or scans after that. But he still decides to go home, and you advise him not to because the expectations of the family. So if we can get to a place of neutrality within us, what happens if the people around us can't?
Yeah, that's very important. And I tell that to all my clients, that the people around you are the ones that love you the most are the ones that are the hardest to help. Because what will happen is they have a preconceived notion to an end result. They were told by other practitioners, even medical doctors, medical intuitives, that this is it. This is all you have. Get your affairs in order and, say goodbye to everyone. When I see them and I test their energy, I don't assume anything. Their energy gives me the information that's required for them to heal. And we harmonize the field, they improve. They're not all the time, but most of the time, the x-rays, MRIs, images clear up totally. Lab work comes back clean, and still the person wants to continue the flow of their schedule. They were told, come home, we want to see you before anything. And yet that individual did go back home to Texas. It was Texas. And within 30 days, I had tracked that within 30 days, he would succumb to his, not condition, but to their desires. Everybody around him had certain plans for him, and that occurred. I have a number of cases where the individual have remembered their spouse's day of departing, the day that they passed on. They think about that day, and all the markers in their body energetically light up just as if they were the same person. So that's quantum entanglement. Your thoughts create your field. Energy follows your thought. Therefore, I tell people, please be okay with your thoughts. Be neutral. Otherwise, you are going to become your thought.
Wow. I mean, there's quite a lesson in there, isn't there?
Yes.
So you talk about harmonizing energy. I mean, what specifically are you doing when you harmonize energy?
A good question. What I've discovered is when we tap into the energy, you can tap into it by just feeling it. I teach this in my classes, in my courses. I tell the individual, bring your palm up, feel the energy around you, that's the environment, and place the thought of whatever you'd like to work on. This energy work is not just solely for healing, just medical issues or conditions. It's for basic life supports like your health, wealth, fitness, occupation, current, future. So whatever might be causing you to feel, a need to work on, I tell them to please place that awareness into their field, which is their morphic field, and think of it as an issue. When tapped into it as an issue, they can bring that awareness to their center, to their heart chakra center, and just think of the word invert. I've tested it with mathematicians, scientists, that invert to me means that it never occurred in the first place. And that power of intention, which is so powerful, and there are a number of books out there written about the power of intention, that takes hold of the situation and inverts that field, therefore harmonizing it and providing for the end result to be, what the person would like. But they still have to be neutral, definitely neutral to the outcome.
Again, back to neutrality. I mean, that is one of the foundations of your modality, along with intention. But the third one is knowingness. How do you define knowingness?
Knowingness, to me, is an intuition. That's why I call it Garcia for my name, but energetics, with an I, which I interpret it to be intuition. into it we go. Everybody has some form of intuition. We're all empathic to some degree. So that ability to have that feeling of, it's kind of like female's intuition, or it's just something that we all have, and every individual has it to a certain extent. That will come to the individual as it develops. As they practice what I teach, it gets stronger and stronger. It's like second nature. You have an awareness of how you feel when you sit in your car, that somebody sat in there before you. You have a feeling that your desk was moved around when you sit down. It's just feeling, you know, things before they happen. And that's what one of the premise of energetic work is that energy is not logical, and energy goes both ways. So I know that field that's out there is going to give me the information, which I call knowingness, and that in turn becomes my intuition, my intuit. But we all have it.
Now, you've actually started teaching workshops and classes, and to help people develop their intuition and really get in touch with that inner healer?
Yes, and they don't have to have any prior knowledge of anatomy or medicine or healing work. They can, in fact, the people that are the least knowledgeable about healthcare are the ones that get better results, because they're not held back by their preconceived notions of knowledge of medical field that they've studied. And it's open to anyone. My students range from children to lay people to professionals. I have attorneys, dentists, psychiatrists, psychologists, and they're all welcome because they all know about energy. And it does evolve from there. They can enhance whatever modality they already use in their practice to improve their practice and improve the outcome, you know, for their clients.
One final question, Dr. Garcia. Do you work with people remotely?
Yes, I do. Like in quantum physics, there really isn't any distance, time and space per se. So we call it subspace, and we get good results. I get very good results working at a distance. We don't need a picture of an individual. In fact, I have a photo in front of me to work on them because I'll be working on the energy that was trapped in the photo. I prefer to just voice to voice. And as I test her energy, it is the present moment, that instant and now, that's so important to tap into their energy to harmonize their field. So distance healing is very powerful, very common.
Dr. Hector Garcia, thank you so much for joining us today. Good luck with the book.
Thank you for having me. Thank you. It was a pleasure being with you.
Thank you. So, Guiding Personal Source, An Intuitive Path to Clarity, Balance and Empowerment by Dr. Hector Garcia. And you can find out more at GarciaInnergetics.net. We'll be back in a few moments. Don't go away.